They're pretty far out there, but drop in the comments below what your favorite design is or what your favorite mobile suit is from the GQUUUUUX series. This might be my favorite just because I like the police setup on this thing too. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting when we get into it. Definitely excited for this build. I gotta give props to my brother. Thanks for picking this up for my Christmas present. He was jumping onto my live feeds and was listening to what I was talking about, and he came up with this awesome gift idea. So thank you, brother. If you're watching, I give you some shout out and some love. So if we get into this kit, I want to show you real quick just the stickers here. I will say that I am only going to use the mono eye for now while we're building. I'm going to add the decals later. That way, one, you don't have to painstakingly watch me fidget and reposition the decals numerous times. And two, it's just going to save a little bit of time when they get into the build. Of course, you'll see the overall stickers on it once we do the actual review of the kit, which will come later. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that as well. So let's go ahead and dive right into this thing. If you're wondering, yes, I use Dixie cups to help separate this out as I'm doing the live build. No, I don't actually keep those in there. I keep them in a divider, but just for that sake, just dump them out. It's a lot easier that way. So this is the classic mono eye with the GQUUUUX flare. Now, I always think of a duck because of how many U's are in that, but it's very interesting to say the least. So let's see what we're taking a look here. It looks like we're going to actually run up underneath of the head and move around. It should be locking it into place because it's showing it. It's showing it kind of flips up and hooks around. So I'm going to hook that in here. It looks like maybe. Yes, here we go. Hope if I had it the right way and not flip the head around. And then we pop this section up here and it slides in the back. Should be a little tooth or groove to catch it here. All right. So anything, especially with the Zakus, you always have that tubing that runs around the back of their head and the front of the head. It can be a little difficult at times, but all in all, it's not too shabby. It's not too bad. Just got to make sure you keep it in place. It's kind of like locking it in place before you move too much on there. Hey, Hunter, my dude. I'm glad you can catch me live too. It's not my normal day, so maybe I need to do on Tuesdays if I want to catch up with you, right? I got I got way off track with my timing with the holidays, and I have a kiddo doing in sleep regression, so it's kind of been a little hectic to say the least. So, but how are you doing, man? Do you have a good Christmas? All right, so kind of just a little small pieces here. And you just got to make sure you line it up perfectly with that. Hey, Johnny, dude, what's going on? Yep. Wheel, wheel. All right. So like I said early on, I'm not going to do all these marking decals. I am going to do the mono eye on here, though, just because I don't want to take the head back apart to put it on. And I will save the stickers for later. Johnny, dude, how was your Christmas? You have a good one? I know you said you was working on the Oberon. I probably pronounced that wrong, but I think I have the right one in mind. I know your G Gundam, your God Gundam looked phenomenal. All right, maybe. So, winning bingo. Oh, nice. Do you play for money or prizes? Okay, nice. Bump the camera there. All right, so we got this on here, just like every other mono eye. You have the swivel. That's actually, or most mono eye Zaku's, you have that swivel feature on there, and you try to pop that decal on. This is more like a light pink, so make sure it sits on there pretty centered as it will swivel around. Hopefully that eye stays on there better because it looks like it's kind of wrapped around. I see a few eyes. Ah, money, cash is king. Cash is king. I can't argue with that. All right. Pick up some nice kits with that. Your jackpot winnings. All right, so we got that eye centered, and I want to go ahead and put it on. There is two very, very, yeah, gunpla cash money for sure. Oh, nice. Okay. I have not watched the new season of Stranger Things yet, so I have been catching up on Welcome to Derry. All right, and that's still kind of hard to do with the kids. All right, so yep, just like the other mono eyes, the classic mono eye Zaku swivel on that. Though I don't like the way the eye is sitting on there. I might have roughed it up a little bit. That's a bummer, but it's not too bad. So yeah, that is the head in a nutshell. Simple, easy, straight through. We'll go ahead and move into the next one. Ah, nice. You got some Hobby Lobby you're eyeing up. I haven't been in. I need to go in. I haven't done my update in a while, and then of course when I do my update, I usually help myself to one or two. But yeah, what can you do? I mean, you're there, right? When in Rome. All right, so we are going to head and build up this chest section. It's so different from the other Zaku's in a lot of different ways. But I will say with this dark blue for the cleanup on it, it was actually really nice. Um, I didn't feel like I had the traditional or traditional dark blue color cleanup issues, if you know what I'm saying. Can't get the words out. Let's see. There's my problem. I got the wrong side here. All right, here we go. I want these to go in. Catches in the. Another thing that's kind of got to go through, it looks like maybe. Oh, nice. That's a good snag. I still. One day, I want the perfect grade strike rouge. That has been on my list. I don't know how long. When I'll build it, I do not know, but I definitely want it. The strike rouge is always. I always like the pink colors on it. I don't know. That's a good. I like it. I like it. That's awesome. You know, I can't say, Johnny, that I actually watched Nightmare for Christmas this year. Hey, what's going on? I, is it Dr. Shenanigans Gaming? Is that right? But yeah, Johnny, I don't know if I actually watched Nightmare for Christmas this year. Maybe around Halloween time. Oh, maybe down the road they might do that. Not being that far out from doing the perfect strike, um, or with every piece from the strike kit. So, All right, so now that we got that on there, you do have to like pop this side through with the actual points first, and then slide it in. Kind of interesting. Oh well, welcome to the hobby, dude. It's very fun. We all love it. I mean, there's so many different ways you can go with it too. It's a great hobby. You will spend a lot of money though. That is a fact. But that's every good hobby, right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this headpiece in here. It's interesting. On a swivel. So how many kits have you, or I shouldn't say how many kits have you built. What was your first kit that you start with? There we go, so backwards. And let's see here. So we're going to go ahead and put this piece section in here, pops in. A little tricky with that. The head there. We'll go ahead and build up this other side real quick, and then we'll come back and make sure that we have it in the right way here. Alright. So, yep, again, start this through first. So that way you can have it in place. Maybe. Doesn't want to go in there. I was gonna say it was a pretty good Christmas for me too. I can't complain. I actually broke down, instead of buying a new model, I actually bought a new display cabinet because I am out of space, and right now I've been kind of stacking them around, or not, well, I shouldn't say stacking, but I've been putting them around my desk. Well, that's too enticing for a 5-year-old. And honestly, I have no one to blame but myself. So yeah, I broke down and did that. Oh wow. Okay. A few months. uh, yeah, I feel that. I have a couple. Man, I cannot get this to go in. Alright, let's try this again. Trying to work this in. I got the other side to go in okay, but this one doesn't want to go. There we go. There we go. Much better. That feels actually even more tight. So let me go back and try to push this one in a little bit. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it was much needed. There was a decent sell in there. Oh, you're okay, man. Oh, the gun cannon mass protection type. Nice. Gun cannons are always nice, and that's got the style suit that I like, which is the more Federation style builds. All right, let's make sure I got this right. So that is going up. This pops into place here. There we go. Get that. So it's kind of hard to keep it in place and then try to get the head worked in there, but so if I keep it upside down, I feel like that head's going to pop right back out again. So I don't know why they'd have me put that in now, but maybe it stay locked in. All right. Nah, I was gonna say that's a good kit. I definitely like the different gun cannons. I like Federation suits, so they're more humanoid looking in a lot of ways. Zeon kind of gets crazy with their designs and stuff like that. But it's definitely fun. A lot of reviews I've definitely done are more from the Federation side. I've done a well, I don't know if I've actually done a couple of gun cannons, but I don't know if I actually did reviews for any. All right, let's see what we got going on here. All right, we got this torso section here that's actually down, so that's going to connect into a section. It's going to add for a nice curve. That'll be good for an ab crunch. Yeah, so this is definitely different. But I will say the instructions are pretty nice and clear and laid out. Do you have another idea for, or you have any more kits that you're going to work on, or let's say going to go into another high grade from like the Origin series, or yeah, let's see, yes, okay. So that should keep it in place. That's definitely a different design. So right there is actually what keeps that locked in. And then yeah, so that pops in there. So it's got to be lined up perfectly on that one. Oh man, this is a little tricky on this one. Yeah, I was gonna say I like this. I know I've built a couple of those, but I'm trying to remember. Don't think I've done the OG gun cannon. I've done the 1/100 scale, the Re 100 gun cannon. So everything just fell apart on me while I was trying to put this together. So I'm going to go back through and try to get it worked back in. It's definitely building it up. This chest is not the standard. Not saying it's hard, but it's kind of like right timing and right, or I should say right placement, and trying to keep everything loose together until you get like the last little bit together. Trying to work, there we go. So you have two little points on this. You got to work those through the hole before you can actually put it in. And this head right here wants to keep popping out. And like that. Wish there was something to actually hold that in place, but oh yeah. Yeah, those are nice. Yeah, the Zaku 2 kits are, they're always fun. The high grades especially. The real grades, I wish they would do a 2.0 one. maybe one day, but they're definitely fun to pay homage on that, on the old school stuff for sure. All right, let's try this again. Man, that headpiece does, or that neck piece does not want to stay in there. Okay, let's try this one last time. Iron Blooded Orphans is a fantastic kit. A lot of those are, I won't say fantastic. They all have some gimmicky issues, but they always look pretty solid when you finish it up. The designs for that for sure are awesome. I like the IBO designs for sure. Um, the F91 Hunter, the gun cannon, is that the one, the red, the gun aid, or I forget now. All right, try to get this together again. Yeah, I was gonna say I could definitely, it's definitely worth watching to get your feel and everything. Um, the Origin series that they did too, I think that you're talking about the movie setup, is definitely worth the watch. Especially if you struggle with a little bit older style animes or just slow pacing like that. Check out the Origin first. It's a good pace. The design's great. There we go. I think I find no. Yeah, so this definitely different in the layout. So I'm trying to get this all to line up, and there's just just not connecting all the ways. Oh, nice. Oh, wait, no. I didn't see the canceled part. Oh, that's a bummer. Trying to get this last couple holes to line up on this. And then there we go. And then oh man. There we go. All right, finally, guys. Sorry it took so long on that and fumbling around. That's why I saved the stickers for later too, so that way you guys don't have to watch me struggle that long. All right. I will say the color separation on this, and that goes for any of the GQUUUUUX. The color separation is just awesome. The amount they work into it. Of course, that's a lot of the newer Bandai kits. They're able to do that, and they do such a great job with it. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, it seems like Bandai's kind of been struggling with production, or I don't know if that's the issue, or they just keep switching their mind of what's going on. Yeah, that's you very. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to screen. Yes, I absolutely love not having to use glue when I'm building. Now, I will say there's some kits that it saves you a little bit of headache to add some glue, but absolutely that was one of the biggest draws that I've always liked about Gunpla is no glue. No glue required, at least. Yeah, I it would get annoying. I used to build model cars when I was a kid. Not that many because I it didn't turn out great usually because of the glue. But all right, so this right here slides on the back, and that's actually locking the two pieces together. And then this goes in, slides into place. Okay. sure. So this actually has double hoses that run along the torso. And they look almost identical. I think I got it. Nope, opposite. So the bigger one up top first, then the smaller one. Alright, so then this goes on the back here, locking those hoses in place. Very nice. And this is going to be a little tricky to get that on there. Maybe. Let's see. Hey, it actually lined up pretty good. Not too much to try on that. So Hunter, which of the two was you waiting for more? Was it just the standard master grade Zaku? Is that the 2.0, by the way? Just this. Alright, so then we just have these side pieces here, and they are connected onto the prongs on the joint right here on the pops out. This has no polycaps on it too, so that is always nice. All right. Trying to make sure. There we go. Sits on there pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and slide the bottom one on first over top of the prong, and then I work the other one on. Or at least that, in theory, that's what I was supposed to be doing. There we go. And there is the chest section. You can see that there's some movement there, and it pulls it. Should be, there we go. Comes out nicely, moves forwards and back on that. So we'll go ahead and throw the head on there. Pop that in again. It sits down into it. This side came off. I was curious about that. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think they like reprint the Char Zaku. Hey, dude, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna say so far the designs are unique. I was definitely finagling or struggling with the chest section. It was definitely a weird or different build up for that, but interesting. Everything holds tight once it's together, but it took a second to get that to snap together. Pull the head up there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's kind of weird that they won't run a green Zaku if they keep reprinting Char. I don't fully understand that one either. I will say on the shield here, just so I didn't lose it during build, I put the little sirens on the side on the shoulder piece already. That way, again, they're very small, easy to lose sight of, especially since they're round. My desk has a tendency for things to roll while I'm building. Yeah, I think doesn't shards come with like the little figure and the oh, what is it? I was scissor lift kind of thing. I think that's the only real difference between the two that I'm aware of. I don't know. I'm sure there's a little bit more than that, but that's the only thing I ever think of as difference between the two on that. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into this section here. And oh yeah, the commander antenna. That yep. I wasn't sure because I don't think I've built the actual master grade Zaku itself. I have a variant in my backlog. It's Shin's master the 2.0, but I haven't built it yet. It's still sitting in the backlog. that was that was a grail kit for me. I was able to find someone had traded that in used. Um, Traded that in used, and I happened to pick it up at a store. Oh, nice. That's a great Christmas gift. The narrative for sure. That's a is that'll be a fun one to build, man. Brother's got good taste. All right, let's see. All right, this is very interesting build for sure, but I like it. It's definitely different. All right, everything's so tight, works well together. Did you ever get your Gundam Mark V? I think it was on P Bandai. I wasn't sure if you ever picked that up or not. All right, so we gotta go ahead and slide this section of the arm on. There is a decal sticker that wraps around it. I have some concerns for that, but I'm hoping it will stay on there and it won't be too much of an issue. And then we'll go ahead and move down to the looks like the lower part of the arm here. So that pops in here. And then we have another section, the keyhole style peg. Goes there. I was gonna say that as far as the separation and parts go on this too, it's nice. I like how not necessarily the chest builds up, but I like how everything because of all the color separation on this little high grade, it builds up nicely. Oh, before I go putting that on there. All right, so that's on there. Now the next section is this cover. I kind of, yeah, I wondered the same thing when I was cutting this out. I was like, what are those extra little tanks for? That's the best I could come up to was like a fuel tank, like a fuel capacity tank, a fuel holding tank or something. But yeah, it's an interesting design for sure. Got to keep true to the GQUUUUUX style. All right. All right, so then we got that on there. We'll go ahead and attach the other side. I think I got the angle right on that. Looks right. Here we go. You just want to slap Haru's face on everything, don't you? It's gonna be all harrowed out by the time it's done. Between on the lights and then on the it's leg balls. That I'm trying to keep straight. All right, all right. So all right, so we're going to go ahead and put this section in here. All right, and then next up is the shield. Does it go on the inside or out? All right, so it actually has a small section here pointing out, and then we have the connection over top, and there we go. So a little bit of movement on that, not too much, but I'll finish out with the hand. I was happy to see that this actually came with an open hand too. I know a lot of the things I've been building here recently just has the holding hands and that's it. So definitely builds up completely different than what I'm used to, but results still look pretty good on it. There we go. It wasn't all the way in there. I didn't hear the click. Nice movement at the wrist for sure. Single bend at the elbow, but it has a nice bend past, a little past 90 degrees it looks like, and then of course the spin at the top. So all right. One arm done, on to the next. Yeah, so if you're looking for a different high grade or you want a different build, this is definitely the one you want to get because it's unique. I mean, I would imagine most of the other GQUUUUUX is probably unique in its build. And again, I went ahead and put the red siren on the shoulder pad. And here is the open hand I was talking about. I went ahead and threw the cover on the back of that, but we still have the holding hand too. So nice little open hand just for a little bit changing up the poses. All right, same setup here. Or I guess it's not quite the same because we're not having, doing a little different on that one here. All right, so get that goes up top. Make sure I have it the right way here. Oh man. Um, yeah, super stoked to get that display case. I'm so ready to get these things protected from my my son. Love him to death, but he's broken so many of the my recent builds. Now he didn't get my hands on any master grades or anything, which I don't think I've done any. Yeah, I haven't done any master grades recently, but try to keep him out of his range because he'll come back and be like, look, I didn't mean to, and I'm like, that's okay, but I'm like, they're not really toys, but it's what it is. Though I'm about done with the Max House Barbatos. I got some other things to throw on there. Um, Panel lining and decals, and then it'll be up and ready to run. It's some random brand off of Amazon. I can't remember the name. It was not one that it's nothing that would stand out to anybody. I don't think. Oh, okay. See, yeah. So this one, you're talking about the G the GQUUUUUUX series, right? Yeah. So this is kind of more of a what if, especially in the beginning with what if Shar actually got a hold of the Gundam kind of setup. That's how GQUUUUUX starts off. There is a lot of ties in from the original. It's kind of like an alternate. It's, it's more like an alternate reality or universe, but there is a tie between the two. I don't want to give you too much in case you haven't seen it all yet, but yeah, it's especially if you've seen the original stuff like that, you'll appreciate a lot of the tie-ins on this. But I won't. I'm not going to give away anything else. All right. So once we got that on, we're going to go ahead and move into the lower section. Yeah, I was going to say, as far as the display case goes, I'll look it up or see what's on the box. I have to put it together just like IKEA stuff. It's so just another form of a model, right? But I will let you know for sure what it is. I'll throw it up there. It was like $50 off on Amazon. Yes. Yeah, multiverse is a good way. Yep. I would that's a great way of putting it in there. It fits right in there with a lot of the other shows that are loosely tied in, like Wing Zero and all those good stuff. Go ahead and put this hand on there. Less pieces to have. Of course, everyone knows my favorite. Well, if you guys don't know, my favorite is the G Gundam series, which has literally no ties to the main storyline, but still fantastic. If you like cheesy kung fu, that's what I'm waiting on, Hunter. I'm still waiting on my perfect grade G Gundam, or I'll take even a high grade Desperado Gundam. And they came out with the Bell one. They gave me some hope. They gave me some hope for some more G Gundam series stuff. We'll see. I'm still hoping and praying. All right, I'm flipping this around here. All right. It's small. Everything is just fits in perfectly. A little tooth and groove. My lighting's kind of off today. I feel like I don't know. But everything fits in there just perfectly. But the downside of that is when you're trying to fit everything in there perfectly, can be difficult at times to keep everything together. There we go. It's hard to see it on this, but there is a slight bend in the wrist. So it's kind of like you're lining that up. And you gotta make sure it's going the right way, but it's a very, very slight bend. I wish that cover right there would stay on a little bit better. There we go. Something's not lining up. Hold on here. So yeah, just right there in the crack, you can see something's not lining up or something's catching inside. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't know. Something doesn't want to catch. It's catching in there. It does not want to go. Keep dropping it. The crotch spotlight's a nice touch. Alright. Okay, so we have that. That's set up great that way. But let's make sure. I have a feeling it might have something to do with this piece up here. Nope, it looks like it's set where it needs to be at. So I'm not sure exactly what's catching on that, but there is something not permitting that arm to go, and I don't want to stress it out too much more. Sorry, sweetheart. My wife just walked out of the bedroom. She's normally asleep by now, but she's struggling to sleep right now. Got some coughing going on. Yeah, most of our family's been fighting some kind of cold this Christmas time. Alright, so I'm assessing this. I'm not really seeing what's causing the catch or the issue here. Something right. It's starting to stress right here, so something's off. Okay, so a lot of times what I do, if I struggle with an issue on trying to get something to connect, I will actually take the area where I think that it's struggling and I'll connect it to the other side. And then I'll put it on. Well, that's good, man. I think ours is just mainly colds here, thankfully. But yeah. Even with that section out right there, it's still not connecting. So what am I getting caught on? Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm glad to hear that though. Everyone's staying healthy, and that's. See if maybe I didn't flip something around by accident. Okay. Try this again. See if that's. Alright, not one to catch, so work it there. There we go. Hey! I love it when a plan comes together. Or an arm in this case. Alright. Just had to come down to finagling parts. Here, click into place, and then you just have a small ball joint over here where the shoulder sits onto it. I do like the open hand on this too. That's kind of a nice little touch. I know I mentioned that already, but it's just nice to get some extra stuff for options for posing. And here is the actual upper body, and we'll go ahead and you do get an extra hand, of course, the holding hand there and the open hand. So move that section out, and we'll go ahead and dive into the next spot, which is, by the way, this nice manual too. It's very clean, very, very sharp. All right. Yeah, I was going to say that mobile armor would be definitely a cool one to have. I wouldn't mind the Rose of Sharon to be made into it as well, as they're called in GQUUUUUX. The Rose of Sharon. All right, depending how I pronounce it. All right, so let's get into this. Builds up just like a diaper. Slap on each side. And all right, easy. And you have this front section here. Flip it around. There we go. And this one gets a front thruster and a back thruster, in case you need to go either way, apparently. Alright, so it is a simple ball joint here. It goes in. This, again, has no poly caps with it. no side skirts either. All right, next up is the honestly where I have most of my parts is the lower section of the legs. A lot little parts. Yes, no polycaps is always a win in my book. I absolutely. They, depending on which one it is, of course, is how they line up and stuff can be a little frustrating at times. And then I've done a lot of bootlegs this past several months, and yeah, polycaps can be just a headache in itself, especially if they don't squeeze together right. And of course, they wear down if you constantly move them around a lot too. So, all right. Again, like I said, the blue, you can see a little bit of marking on here as you kind of maybe. Something's off with the lighting tonight. I can't figure it out. I'm sorry, guys. But there is just a little bit of cleanup on that dark blue where you do have some nubs, but as far as it goes with the Bandai dark blue, it cleans up nice. I mean, all in all, I can't say too much. I have no complaints. All right. Then made the lower section here, and then down here. Make sure that it is okay. That's an interesting design. So it allows for the way it's connected. Since it's kind of sandwiched half and half, it allows it to swing up and down and side to side. I like that. That's definitely different, but I like it. Yeah, I imagine over time it might actually come loose just because of the way it's set up, but maybe not. And the big front shin guards. All right. Now the feet is very much like a human style foot. It's literally like a boot, rounded and everything. So interesting. Let's see. Keep it on screen. Sorry. Here we go. There was a little slot in the back there that kind of sits in, then it sits on top here. Then we have some side skirting that builds up. Make sure we have the right. And I'm going to sand this a little bit. I'm going to hit it with just to kind of take a little bit of the stress mark out from the cut. I thought I did a decent job of kind of sanding this out, but there's a couple of things you go through. And let's see. Flip it around here. There we go. connect the other side here. The foot builds up. Everything builds up different on this, but we'll go ahead and that finishes up that section. And then you actually flip that around. Yeah, that's nice. So you can actually swivel that, and that will allow for a whole different movement. That's nice. Yeah, I like that design. Pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and move into the other leg here. Anyone building anything tonight? You just hanging out, or? All right, let's see what we got here. Make sure we got the right side. Here we go. Yeah, I've been wanting to build this one. Of course, like I said, I've been working on the Max House Barbatos Lupus Rex, and which I built the original Bandai 100 Lupus Rex, and I already knew some of the stuff I was getting into with that one, but once I got this for Christmas, I had to stop what I was doing with that one and do this kit. I was super excited to get some GQUUUUUX stuff, so now around here I haven't found much of anything. Oh, nice. That, yes, easy, good. Nice. Good job with the Banshee. Is there, so the oh, let's see. Is that the Norn version, or is that the with the claw? Like the OVA, the OVA version, or the standard version? I can't remember which one they did with that one. But yes, the Hayekushiki is still one of my favorite. Now, I love the Master Grade 2.0 Hayekushiki. That's still one of my all-time favorite. So the real grade Zeon, it will be definitely a fun one for sure. That's I don't know if that's my favorite Char suit, but it's still unique. I wish they had the perfect Zeon finish for that, and not like the final battle version with the legs. I don't know if they have done anything with that one yet or not, but it would be nice to see the legs come out for that real grade version. All right, so building up the sides of these feet again. I think I would. Then you added the claw, nice. Oh, let me clean that up a little bit here. The ultimate fan service for the. I'll have to check that one out because I don't. My Thunderbolt's a little rusty, to say the least. I like the Zaku Zaku and everything in that, but I struggle with not the manga itself, but I watch the animes, but I struggle with the jazz music sometimes. the Yaz music. All right, so here is the other foot built up. I like the Grieve style, like boots and everything. All right, so let's go ahead and build up these interesting legs. It's going to be different. So right leg first. Again, this has some markings, some details. Oh no, that's not great. Just dumped a cup, technically two. That's a bummer. Probably should move these around here. One second, guys. I apologize. Hopefully I have all the parts still. It looks like I might have kept everything. Okay. We'll see how that turns out in a second. Yeah. Yeah, did you guys hear him fall? Because as soon as I did, I was like, oh no. Yeah, Haro. I've actually debated about starting off a video with Haro, everybody. It just, I've refrained so far. It will happen one day, though. All right, let's see what we got here. Hunter, I appreciate you appreciating my cheesiness. Oh, dude. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm trying to focus up now. Okay. We'll cross that bridge when I get there. Charmander. I don't know how many people would laugh and how many people would click off if I said that one. Hello, I'm Charmander Asnable. It's definitely worth it. Yeah. Do I want to put? Oh, I was gonna hold off on doing these. They'll connect though. I guess that makes sense. All right, all right. I will. I was trying to hold off from all these markings until after the fact. I didn't want to make you guys suffer through. All right. Let's see here. Okay, yep. One and two. Make sure I have that right. Yeah. Okay. So since you built this one, how does your stickers work? Do they stay on all right or? Yeah, that makes sense. Did your stickers stay on all right once you've had it built and everything, or? Okay, that's good to know. Anytime I get into stickers that wrap around, I'm not a never really huge fan. And of course, it's going to shift on me too. was gonna say, I get way too quiet when I'm doing stickers on here. Yeah, I see that. I would agree. I'm trying to get them on there nice and tight. Hopefully the rest of them aren't like this, but anytime you have to wrap something clear around something. Oh, now here I punctured a hole in it instead. Alright. Yeah, mine aren't sticking very good. See what you mean by keeping them on there tight. Alright. Trying to get it to come off the sheet and don't even want to do that. There we go. That might be an option down the road. And then I'm touching them too, so that doesn't help. I'm definitely putting some of the stickiness on my fingers instead. Yeah. Yeah, might be one definitely worth painting to keep that on there. Okay, there we go. I'm not convinced that they're going to stay on there, but yeah, I already have one. It's starting to come loose. Must not have had it tight enough. All right. Trying to use these tweezers to kind of pinch them down into the groove there on the piping. Hopefully that's going to keep it enough. They don't look pretty, that's for sure, but we'll take what we can get. All right, so with that on there, pop these around. There we go. Once that's in place, kind of have to lock this section right here into a small groove. And so you got to pull it a little bit. Next up, you put the greaves on. Let's see here. And popped off. Okay, so you actually got to lift that up and then run the leg in. Build up this ball joint here. Again, it uses like the half sandwich of the ball. And interesting. So this is actually the middle of the leg itself. So it'll come up past the hip. So it's kind of like makes its own side skirts down in the legs in a way. Okay. So then on the back side here, you add in this, and that should pull everything together nice and tight. I will say the design for this for sure is definitely laid out in a way that everything is tight together once everything's said and done. Oh, favorite. So my personal favorite would probably be the master grade line. But for time restraints with kids and everything, it seems like these days I build mostly high grades with the occasional 1/100 scale of something. But yeah, master grade's probably my favorite grade line. What about you? Let's see here. So we got the ball right next up. All right. Nope, not going with that one. And all right. Yeah, I was gonna say as far as the okay. Yeah, I was gonna say right on. I am older, but that's all right. I am. I'm actually 39, but I was gonna say I've been doing this for a long time, off and on for years. I was into it when Wing G series is what actually got me into it, but Wing was probably the most popular, of course, in the States, and there we go. So that slides into place right there. Mm, that one might be. No, that's right. Okay. So, yeah, I was gonna say Master Grade is probably my favorite just because of the size and everything. Once you get it, ooh, hit the camera again. Um, And once you get a feel for the size and everything, it's definitely really cool. It will take a while. That's sometimes. Um, Most kits are pretty accessible in America nowadays, so I don't not too many anymore, but it can be hard to track down. Yeah, I was gonna say back then I was definitely doing some old wing high grades and stuff like that. Okay, so this needs to actually slide in. This is a little bit of finagle here. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. So I'm going to slide that back and then we'll pop these back up there. There we go. So there was a small channel that runs into. I need to find my Haro stickers now. So hold on. Where is it? Oh, I can't get it. I would throw it on there if I could for you, Hunter, but it's stuck. It's actually stuck on there really good. All right. Oh, that makes sense. I have not watched JoJo. Um, Not watched JoJo. I was gonna say, as far as animes go, I think, yeah, it's stuck on the bottom of my healing mat, my cutting mat. But if I could, I would definitely throw it on there for you. I mean, you do have the spots. I don't feel like it would be that hard to make it into a Haro for sure. All right. So who wants to take a bet on just how many pieces I lost on the floor? I'm hoping none. That's here's for hoping. Yeah, so no, G series is my favorite, hands down. It's very much just random, obscure fighting and like stereotyping in just so many, so many ways. But it makes for a good time. You go in with a lighthearted feel. It's not like kids, it's not like eighth MS team or any of those kind of things, but I don't. Not here at least, not around my desk, thankfully, but um doesn't mean it won't disappear. See if I can get that lined up. I think part of my issue last time was it was lined up in the wrong spot. Um yeah, so and then I would say after that, when I think I always, when people ask me Gundam Ball Z, you're killing me tonight, Hunter. um Gundam Ball Z. How was that? Not too bad, right? Um I always recommend Iron Blooded Orphans to people that have never watched Gundam before because it has a good principle, and plus it's more up to date. Come on, stay on there. So yeah, it's got the same concept, kids fighting violent wars. It's got a lot more action, a little less talking character building like the original Gundam series goes. Or I thought you'd appreciate that. So some some people. So that's a good question. It all depends, because some people actually don't cover up the entire inner frame. And there's other parts where you can pose it where certain parts of the inner frame is showing, so it adds more detail. And some people, you know, each person's different. Some people like to build. Some people like to detail, and if you like detailing, then inner frames are, you know, are awesome. Honestly, their inner frames and details on there are nice, and then you can definitely show your work like that. So just one more thing to do if you like painting and stuff like that. Of course, if you can get some mechanical clear kits, this is not going to look great either. I just can't get this where I want it to. So thankfully that doesn't show on the back side, but it does not look great. And I guess it does show on the back side a little bit. Yeah, you're right about these stickers. They are a pain. Yeah, so I mean, it's all about just how much they want to spend time into it and how much detail they want to make it their own. Inner frame, you know, that allows you a little bit more luxury than exterior, especially if you're trying to keep everything anime accurate. You can get away with painting different piping sections differently. And some people do actually have inner frame exposed. So yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of why I've always seen that myself. I'm not one for detailing inner frames that much. Mainly when I do mine, I'm just like snap building and throwing some panel line on it and some decals, and I'm usually pretty content with it. I don't. Very rare do I feel like I have the need to paint something additional, but every once in a while something arises. Alright, so these stickers do not want to like stay on each other very well. Yeah, keep note of that so when I do the review itself I can mention that. Hopefully the other stickers stay on there better than these ones are doing. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw this one on here. I always say, what makes you happy, though? That's all that matters when it comes down to if you're building, you know, whatever you enjoy. I treat it as it's supposed to be light, it's supposed to be fun, it's a hobby. I'm not one to critique anybody. That's not really what I'm into it for. I'm into it to build, and just that's what I've always done. I enjoy snapping together, building things, and having something done and I can hold in my hand, you know, afterwards. That's the whole reason I like gunpla. Don't you put that jinx on me there, Hunter. Put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Alright, so let's see what we have here. Here's the bowl joint. But yes, they wrap around, so they'll definitely come off. And the way they weren't sticking very good, I'm hoping they'll stay on for at least the video review. I'll have to probably pick up the pace on that one, but all right, where is the other foot? There's the other foot. Okay. And this side goes in here. sure everything sits in there nice and tight. So I'll say, why do you build? Why are you enjoying Gunpla? You like the building part? Do you like the detailing? Or looks like I may have done that backwards here. So let's take a look. Oh. I'll take this back off here. That's part of my issue. There we go. Yeah, I was going to say that might be what I end up doing. And I say that, but more than likely by the time I'm trying to get the review up and running, I probably won't paint it. I want to paint it, but I probably won't, just to keep pace with the videos. I'm definitely trying to work more videos in this year. So it looks like I might have put this on. Okay, let's take a look and see again. Yeah, moved it too far actually is what happened there. There we go. So while you swing that leg back, you can't swing it back too far, or then it won't be right. Yeah, I have a couple of those paint markers. I need to. I don't know if I have a white though. Actually, I've got yellow. I use that in the on Barbatos and Wing Zero Hanu. All right. Yeah, they're already. These ones are already trying to come off on me. Alright, so one thruster, two thruster. So next up is the ball, or the balls. Alright. So let's see if I can get this without moving it this time around. Nope, I'm going to have to move it. Here's where the shot. There's a little channel that one little spot clicks into or goes into, and it just wants to be difficult. And because of the way it's set up, have that right. Actually, could be a different base. Switched out on me here. Yeah, let me swap bases here. I thought they aligned. Well, no, they had to line up. There we go. That one went in pretty good. There. Yeah, that seemed, I don't know what changed, but they all worked fine after that. Yeah, I was gonna say this. I could definitely see how you would find your way there. They're close or similar in a lot of factors, especially in the model line. They have, the Bandai does both of those kind of models too. So I mean, I've never been into Eva. Well, I was gonna say I've never been into Eva, and I can't talk anymore, guys. I'm sorry. But you know what I'm trying to say. So I haven't really been into that one. Here is the body completed, and not decaled up, of course, but we'll get into that. Interesting style for sure. And it looks like I might have done the same thing with this one here, this leg as well. So we'll go back and adjust that later. Won't make you guys go through that again, but I was gonna say Gundam is definitely addicting. All right, so have the shield, have part of the cannon. But I am missing a couple pieces. So I did lose some. None of the leg, though. That's good on that. But definitely lost some on the gun. Alright, so I did find that. Looks like I might be missing the handle, though. So just a heads up, I am missing the handle on that one for sure. It shouldn't be too bad to find, and thankfully it's the common C-clip on that, so it won't be too bad to find. So this is off to the side. Yeah, it is. They're very similar. uh, I kept seeing this stuff. Yeah. I was gonna say they when they first came out, the GQUUUUUX, where they released the main suits, and the I think it was when the G Fed officially came out, and they revealed the design for it. They're like, that's literally Eva. Yeah, so all right, so here is the actual gun itself, the beam cannon, not cannon, beam rifle, and Tommy gun style like that with the rounds, the ammunition on top. It does come with a completed little heat axe and heat stick. And this is missing the C-clip handle on that. So I will track that down. It's on the floor somewhere. That happened when I knocked my cups down. So I will find it. But that is everything, guys. I really appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. You guys have me cracking up. So thank you guys so much. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And as always, guys, have a good night. Thanks for sticking around, and until next time, love.